All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Framer Live. My name's Justin. I'm part of the video marketing and education team here at Framer. And thank you guys for joining our first live. And it is 100% live. Like, you guys can chat to me. I can chat to you guys. This is not pre-recorded or anything like that. I can see your chats. I'm looking at them right now. Hello, Sawyer. Hello, Chris. Hello, is it Moyes? I don't know. I might pronounce some of these names wrong, so I apologize ahead of time. But welcome in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about some layout templates, some of our new feature layout templates. And yeah, we're going to just spend the next hour having a good time and building some stuff. And showing you guys how this new feature works. So yeah, thank you guys for being here, and I hope you enjoy. And please join the conversation. We can talk if you guys have questions or things you want me to try. That's what I'm here for. This is not something that needs to be super polished in that way. Like we can play with Framer and see what we can create together. And it's gonna be a good time. We're hoping to do more of these as well. So yeah. Hello everybody. Hello Sammy. Hello Kim. Hello everybody. All right, Julian. Hello. Yeah, see, it's hi everyone. Ola from the West Coast. Hello. How you doing, Ola? All right, let's get into it real quick. How many of you guys have actually used the new Framer the new template layout so far? So let's get in. Here we go. Anyone? Hi from Bangladesh. Dang, you guys are from all over the place. Welcome in. Welcome in. What time is it over there? It's got to be pretty late. All right, you guys. So here I have a template that we've created just for this demo. You guys might have seen Benjamin's videos on this specific feature. Hello, Justin, who I've never met. Yeah, I have no idea who Joseph is. Nobody knows Joseph here. If you guys aren't familiar with Joseph, please go check out Framer Academy. He makes amazing videos over there on Framer Academy for you guys. Started using it yesterday. It's so nice, right? It's amazing. It's amazing. Bado here. Is that how you say that? Bado? It's 11 p.m. Yeah, that's pretty late. Well, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. But all right, before I butcher any more of your names, let's look at this little template that I've made here. Based on Benjamin's template in his layout template video. We have this, nice little simple website. I have a question: how to start a Framer project, and what should I do before I start a project? I mean, that's a pretty loaded question. I would say the best thing to do whenever you're designing anything is probably wireframe it out and figure out exactly how you want your layout to be. But designing right in Framer is always a really good solution, just diving right in, because there's so many tools at your disposal there. And you don't really need a lot of tools outside of Framer to create an entire website, which is a beautiful thing. And you don't need any code. Hey. So let's jump into it and check this out. So here we have a website that has no navigation. Within my assets panel, though, I do have a nav bar that I've set up. So I want to show you guys this component that I've set up. So we have our main navigation here, and over the right, you see we have the phone version of it as well. If I drill down into it a little bit more, and I look at my component, because each of these have components that are kind of embedded, they're nested components within these. So if I look at that, I have my nav items that I'm calling this, and each one is its own individual component as well. But I have different versions of these. I have different active states that I've set up, and I'll show you guys why in a little bit. But for now, let's get this going and add it into our template. So if I grab my nav bar, here and just drag it right in, you're gonna notice that now it is in our template. We have a nav bar. Let's make it fixed. Let's put it at the top. Beautiful. But if you guys haven't played with layout templates yet, you're used to the old way where, under our pages, if we go to like the next page or gallery page, there's no nav. It didn't bring it over. It's not a global element. So what's nice about our new layout templates is they will make these things global elements. So if I right click on this and I go to create layout template, that's a new feature we have. So I'll say, let's just call this main, since it is our main template that we have here. And now you'll notice this entire layout template has become kind of its own component, right? So we have our placeholder content here. So this is where our entire content of our site lives, is right in here. And now if I go back really quick and I look at the other pages, it's now in every single page. Just like that, one click. So simple. Done. Now I have a nav on every single page, and I can go to one place to change it up. So if I go into edit here, I'm going back into our layout template, and I can add another thing. I can add a footer that I've created as well. So now I have my top nav and I have a footer down at the bottom. So everything that I build within each page is going to be right here within the placeholder, which is super nice. So if any of you guys have played with that feature yet, it's pretty incredible. Now, we can also do things like add in different animations to this. Right now, it's just got a standard, you click through, and that's great. That works. That makes everything beautiful. So for me, it seemed like the layout template didn't apply to every page by default. I had to select it for every page. It should, that might be, I would check that out again, because it should just be one click. Once you create it as a layout template, it should make it your main template, unless you have multiple templates. If you have multiple templates, it might not know which one you want to choose. But as long as you have the one, if you notice up here in the top right corner, when you're on your page, right, we have template layout and then which template you're using. So if there's only one, it should automatically choose that one. If you have more, then yeah, it might default to something else. And also if I hit that minus sign, it'll do that as well. But another thing I can do here, I can actually, let's go back into it. The first layout template you create should get applied to all pages by default. Yes, exactly. Exactly what Joseph's saying. Okay, so now what I want to do though is, if you guys noticed before, let me go into edit component and drill down into this. I have all these active states that I've set up. So I have, my gallery active, my blog active, updates active, docs active, and I want these to show up when I actually go to a page, so that when I click on gallery, it highlights with that pill, so that it lets me know, okay, lets our user know we're on the gallery page, or we're on the blog page, or we're on the updates page, right? And right now it doesn't do that. If I hit play here, it's just gonna be a standard link. And I don't want that. I want to make this a little fancier. So what I can do is I can actually use a variable. I've already set a variable on this state here to make this active, so that we are able to drill it upwards. Now look, if I go into here and I create another variable, I'll say nav active states. Let's call it just nav active states, just to leave it like that. Now it's actually going to allow me to select each one of these for the different pages. So now, like I showed you before, how we could choose different layout templates, now it's actually going to, oh my gosh, I deleted it again. Now it's actually going to allow us, up here in the corner, if you see, it's going to allow us to choose which active state we want. Wait, it's not actually showing you guys the drop downs. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix that. Wonder why it's not doing that. Technical difficulties, right? Technical difficulties. This is how you know it's live. Yeah, we're not able to see the drop downs. I know. I'm noticing that as well. Which is weird. Might have to finesse something here real quick. Give me a second, you guys. Apologies. Let's see. I don't know which page you guys are seeing, but we'll make sure to iron this out for next time for sure. Let's just do this. Not going to be as pretty, unfortunately. But we'll fix that. All right, so let me put this in here. Turn this one off for a second. Okay, so you should be able to see the drop downs now. Yep, there we go. All right, so now you guys can see that, right? This is how you know we're truly live. All right, so now if I go in here, I can change all of this stuff. So I'm on my home page. Let's go to gallery. Perfect, quick fix. So we are going to now choose gallery active, and now you'll notice that pill icon is going to show up there, right? So I'll do the same thing for all of them, and I'm going to show you a really cool thing that Framer automatically does for us. Now, if I go and I select and I preview, here we go, and I select my gallery, we get that pill icon, right? But now if I click blog, you're going to notice that we get an automatic animation between the two states. So each one now has its own little micro animation here. So just like that, we made a micro interaction just from active states. Didn't have to do really anything other than setting a variable, having those active states ready to go, and now we get this pill that bounces around between pages really nicely, really smooth. So simple. It's honestly, for me as a designer, when this was released, I was like, that's a game changer. Being able to just do this once, and obviously having Framer do a lot of that in between work for me makes things so much faster. So that being said, I should have my footer down here as well now. Yep, there's my footer because of the layout template. Now, there's another really cool thing I want to show you guys as well. Let's say we were on like a docs page, and on this page we needed something like a side nav because we have a lot more items in our documents page. But right now we don't have a side nav, so it's like, yeah, you could create a whole nother layout template that accommodates for that specific layout, or we could just modify this layout template by adding a sidebar. So I've already created a sidebar. So let's put this in here. Let's get it set correctly. Let's go absolute. We'll throw that over to the left. I think, forget where I had this before. Say 100. Let's actually do 20 on the left. There we go. But we want it to push this over as well. So, oh wait, no. How did I have this set up? See, I'm blanking now. I practiced this for you guys and everything, and now that I'm live, I forget how to do it. Let me go into layers. 20. I think maybe like, let's just do 100, but that's not pushing that over. No, that stayed fixed. I'm blanking right now. It's early morning for me. It's early morning for me, you guys. I'm also not, just to be fully transparent, I'm not a Framer expert. I'm learning this with you guys. Is it possible to nest a placeholder in a stack? No, it is not. The placeholder actually goes, oh, I know why. Here's the problem, guys. No, yeah. No. I remember now, Joseph. I remember now. Okay, so what I need to do is actually on the entire desktop breakpoint level, I need to change my padding to accommodate this bar. And right now it's not accommodating the bar. Okay, so I have to set a padding variable. And I also have to set, sorry, not a padding variable. I have to set a variable on visible for my sidebar first. So I'm going to create a variable for that. And I'm just going to say sidebar visible. And we're going to say no. We don't want it to be visible here because right now we don't have it. It's not set up properly. So instead, now I'm going to go to padding. I'm going to set variable, set it to my sidebar visible, and actually click convert. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to set padding for if I have my sidebar on or if I have my sidebar off. So right now, if I have my sidebar on, I'm going to set my padding for that. And let's say I'm going to have that at 200 on the left. And if it's not turned on, now I'm going to have my padding set as I do normally. So what's nice about this is now if I go back to here, you're going to notice over on this, in this area here, on the page level, under my template layout, I have now that variable shows up. And I can turn my sidebar on or off because I set up that variable. Right? Very simple, very easy. See, I blanked out on it. I was like, why isn't it working? That's why. Because we have to actually set that up so that we can accommodate for it. So if we didn't set that up, we would actually have to change the padding completely to accommodate for it. But I want it to be able to accommodate both. I don't want to have to build a whole nother layout template to do that. So by using variables, I'm able to set that up. So right now it's hidden. The visibility is off. If the visibility was on, that's how we accommodate for it. And it pushes that layout template over because it's saying the padding of the entire breakpoint would change depending on that. So that's really nice because now if I go in here, when I go back to, like, let's say my gallery page, I don't need a sidebar. So it's not there. But if I did need a sidebar on this page, boom, easy sidebar. Easy sidebar. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to everyone. Will it be possible to export the code in the future? That's the only thing keeping me from using Framer. Well, that I don't have insights into that, unfortunately, Senpai. To answer that question. I know Framer is we are a no-code website builder. So therefore, I'm not sure if we're gonna be exporting the code, but that's probably something that I would say you could probably ask maybe one of the guys in the product team if they're willing to say if that's part of the roadmap. I have no idea, unfortunately. Can we also animate the sidebar in when changing the pages? Well, have it animate in when changing pages. I'm sure you could if you do some sort of like page animation, like a page transition. Does that mean sidebar must always have to be a fixed width? How about sidebars to adjust to the width of the content? Well, let's see what it looks like if we were to go to here. So I believe right now this one's set up as a fixed width. You can try it out. Let's see if we can do a relative. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna do it. So like 20%, maybe like 15%. Say like there. I mean, that responds a little bit. Yeah, it's not gonna push that stuff over on that side. We have a big company. Does my API and backend could implement part of a Framer site? For instance, we have pricing created by our engineers for price of close. Would that work? That's also something I'm not sure. Again, we're going over layout templates today, but what I can do is I can take these questions and we can figure out if we have answers for you guys on that stuff. All right, let's get back into it here. Let me change that back to off, and we'll put that back to fixed. All right, so another really cool thing is we now have exit animations on some of our menu items. So, for example, our head of product designed this, and we have this drop-down menu here to show you guys how these exit animations can work. Because normally, when you would choose a menu item and you click on something, the menu would just instantly disappear while loading the next page. But now you can see that that shelf actually animates closed while the page is loading in as well. And that's super easy to do. It's really, really a nice feature now that we have layout templates. So I'll show you guys kind of how this breaks down. So we have, let's go into the layout template itself, and we'll go into the actual component. It's literally just these two components here. So each menu item is actually linked through an interaction to our closed variant. And that closed variant is just set to close on click. Like we're going to this one on click. And then over here, this one just goes straight to here on enter. Right, so right as we hover over this, this expands. Right as we click one of these, it closes. And we also do the same thing on the entire component. We have that as soon as the mouse leaves, we have it set to go back to closed as well. So it creates this really nice shelf. And that animation stays consistent throughout all of our pages, which is super, super nice. Yeah. What's up, beauty? I don't speak English fluently. I would like to know if you have plans to create content in Pacific time and Eastern time. Is that what that means? PTES? I'm not sure what PTES means. So how the states are connected. Yeah, we just went over that. So I'll go back in and show you there. So they're just connected through that one interaction link. We have mouse leave. Yeah, can't wait to try that feature out. Yes, please. Portugal and Spain. Oh, Portugal and Spain. Got it. Sorry. I mean, possibly we have people from Framer all over the world. So we have people like, we're based in Amsterdam, I am one of the very few in the United States that works for the company, but so whenever I'm doing live products and things like this, live demos, they're probably going to be on this time zone. But that's not to say, you know, we could do other things in the future. We want to do more live events like this where we kind of build with our community, maybe potentially even have people on to build with us. So this is the first one, you know, this is kind of us testing this out, seeing how it goes, if we can, you know, work out the kinks and work out some technical difficulties as you guys saw before. So it's all up in the air still. We're still working it out. We're still figuring it out. We're figuring it out together right now. So that's essentially what we have for layout templates. One of my favorite things is this sidebar variable that we have. It's just so nice, like being able to create different states for my layout, right? Possible to share the remix of this project? I believe so. I don't see why not, but potentially if we do, it would be, we could add it to the we can add it to the description in the YouTube link after the live ends so that you guys can play around with it. But yeah, you know, one of the things I also want to try to do is like dissect different Framer remix links from designers that we have internally, maybe from you guys. That would be really fun too. Like maybe you guys have created something really cool and you want to send it in, and we can go through it and dissect it together and figure out how you built something that everyone's kind of scratching their head about, right? Because we all see these things on Twitter and all over the internet where we're like, how did that person do that? So it would be really nice to be able to dig in and share that and see how you guys are creating with Framer. And because everyone I think has their own take and own version of like how they do things. And it's just sky's the limit with this software. I'm still learning it, and every day I learn something new, and I'm just always blown away by what you can do with it. So yeah. Do you guys have anything you'd like to see on a live? Because that's something as well. I know we've done a lot of live, like we've done Framer events. Hello Brazil. Hello Italy. I know we've done Framer events that have, like, you know, we've created videos for them. You guys watch them. I don't know if you guys saw the Framer Awards yesterday. We had that go out. That was awesome. Congratulations to all the winners, if any of you guys are in here. Let's see. On the layout template view, there's only the desktop breakpoint. Can you demo how we would create templates for other breakpoints, or is it necessary? Yeah, you can totally create other breakpoints as well. So for instance, let's go in here and add a breakpoint. Let's say a tablet and a phone. So as you can see, it's all depending on what you have set up. Right now in my nav bar, I already have a phone navigation set up. So because I have that variant set up, once I've made my breakpoint for that template, it's already set to phone. It's like ready to go. So now if I set my breakpoints here and I do tablet, let's say we'll add a phone. So that changed there. The padding and everything is going to have to change as well within that template. So if I was in here and I was like, okay, I don't need the sidebar, I don't need to do all that stuff within this template, then I can change my padding here, just like I would in a normal breakpoint that you guys are used to. So you would do that on the template level, right? So let's say if I want 20 around everything, so you would do it right there. Let's say I would go maybe 100 on the top and then 20 everywhere else. And now on that breakpoint, it's going to adopt those and not on the other breakpoints. Would love to see more animation tutorials. Okay. Good note. I will definitely jot that down for sure. I guess this is pretty simple to do, but how can we make the nav bar slide out or contract while scrolling down and reappear when scrolling up and bringing the mouse to the top of the screen? I'm trying to wrap my head around that. How can we make the nav bar slide out or contract while... Oh, I see. So as you scroll down, you want the nav bar to kind of disappear and then reappear when you're scrolling up. I see. Bringing the mouse to the top of the screen. I'm not sure if that's a code component or if that's possible with how we normally do that. Joseph, you're still in the chat. Do you know how to do that specific thing that Benno's asking? Using offset? It's possible. Yeah, possibly offset. I'm like phoning a friend right now for that one because I've never actually tried to do that. I've always been interested in that as well. But I wonder if scroll variant. Oh, okay. See, I get to learn with you guys. I get to learn with you guys on this stuff. But that's a really, like, that's something you can trigger an offset on scroll. Yeah. Could we do that with a layout template? I wonder. Using scroll transform. Yeah, but I wonder, can we do that within the template itself? So I wonder, here we go, effects, scroll transform here. I mean, we could try it, guys. I've never done this, so. So I'm not sure exactly how. Joseph, could I phone a friend and maybe bring you in here and we can talk through it if you're available? Because this is something that I've never tried, but I would like to try it. I think we should go for it if you're available to try it out. Scroll animation. So in here, and then we would set the offset here. Would be the Y. So scroll animation. Hello from Pakistan. Hello. Hello from the United States. Welcome in, welcome in. So let's say we would offset this. I'm probably not doing this right, so we're gonna have to try this out. Yeah, I know I'm 100% not doing this right. Yo, dropping in from London, hello. I think you would have to use a combination of scroll variant and also a mouse trigger in order to make it appear both on scroll up and also when the mouse hits the top. Okay. So you're saying scroll variant. Switch the trigger. Hold on 1 second, guys. There's a huge delay between you guys and me as far as when like there's chat going on. You just select the trigger and change the layer in view. All right, here we go, guys. We're gonna actually phone a friend for this.
Hey, buddy.
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, welcome to the stream.
Thank you,
You
thank you.
guys, here's a Joseph Tadaro from Academy.
Hey,
So,
everyone.
hello.
Yeah, the delay is going to be a little bit brutal because I'm hearing you in real time, but I'm watching your screen on stream,
Yeah,
and the stream there's probably like a 5 to 10 second delay.
that's okay. Well, I mean, it's better than hearing, like, trying to go through the chat, because I'm getting like a bunch of different things and I'm like waiting. So I
Oh,
think
for sure.
if
Yeah.
maybe we can talk through this and you can be like, here's how you do this, because I've never tried to do this.
Yeah, this is something that I've actually implemented on my own site. At least the scroll aspect of it.
Okay.
It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky if you want to have both essentially a nav that appears when hovering on a certain touch target, so to
Yeah.
speak,
Yeah.
and also have the scroll thing going on. Those are two kind of like completely separate things. So you might actually need to have two nav bars, which could get weird. I don't know if that's ideal. If
Okay.
there's solid opacity, you could potentially have one appear behind the other so that it's not visible if they both appear. But yeah, I imagine there would be conflicts either way. But we can start with having the nav appear on scroll. You're super close.
Okay. So
we are gonna use an effect
right.
on the properties panel.
So we have effect, and then we're doing scroll animation, or is it scroll transform?
It's going to be scroll animation.
Scroll animation.
The difference for folks who are watching and wondering what the difference is between scroll transform and scroll animation, a scroll transform is basically going to gradually change the properties of something as we scroll, but a scroll animation is just going to trigger it. So what we want is to trigger the nav coming in. We don't want it to gradually creep in slowly, right?
Right.
We just want it to pop in, right? So our trigger, rather than the trigger being when the layer comes into view,
we would go on scroll.
Trigger to be on scroll, exactly.
Yep. Okay.
And then we get to choose a direction, because like in my case, I'm implementing this for a back to top button that appears from the bottom. So I want my back to top button to appear as people scroll up. I guess this is kind of similar. Like you might want the top nav to appear when people scroll up, but not when they're scrolling down.
Right. Yes.
Again, not everyone's going to want to implement this the same way, but that's what the settings are for. So
yeah,
we would want the and I guess there's two ways to approach this. It's like, does it move up and out of the way from its default position, or does it move down and into place from its default position?
I think what the question was from Benno was, as the user scrolls down, the nav bar would then disappear. So it would then go off of the screen, and then as they scroll up, it comes back. Or if they bring their mouse to the top of the screen, it would pop back down.
Yeah, the mouse on the top of the screen, that's a tricky thing. But for those who are wondering about the scroll part, we're really close here. And triggering on scroll is exactly what we want. Direction down is exactly what we want.
Yep.
Replay is what we want if we want this to happen as we scroll up and then down again,
okay,
et cetera, et cetera. So it's just the preset. We want to change that preset.
And we want to do a
we
slide.
Don't want it to fade out. We want the offset to be the only property that changes.
Okay.
And we want the offset Y to move.
Wait, you said under preset?
Height.
So
sorry, under 2, we don't want to use the preset, the fade out preset. Like we're gonna create our own.
Oh, got it. So where would we do that?
Under 2, like the next.
Oh, okay, got it. Yep.
Down.
Got it. So I'm under 2. Yep. And our offset, we'd want to change this. The Y, right?
Yeah, the Y would be the vertical position.
Yep.
Exactly.
So let's bring that to like a negative 64, which will bring it off the top of this up to the top of the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Because the height of the nav bar is 64. We got to move it by at least 64
Yeah.
pixels.
Really quickly to answer you too, streams like this more or less a regular thing now. Would really like it. We're hoping to, like, the goal is like that we would at least do it after each new feature release or update so that we can play around with some of the new features that we're working on. But yeah, we have ideas that we want to continue doing these lives, and you know, having different things happen on lives and different events. So we would like to do them more often. This is kind of our trial, our test run, seeing how it goes. This is like the pilot episode, right? And Benno, don't worry, like, I know you said like you put me on the spot. That's okay. Like, I'm new-ish to Framer when it comes, like, I've probably been working with it for like 4 or 5 months now, just messing around with stuff. So there's a lot I haven't done. And I'm okay with saying that. I'm not going to claim to be an expert. Like, there's so many experts online. We have a lot of Framer experts, right? Like, people that are actually titled Framer experts. I'm not one of those guys, but I am here to, you know, show what I know and also learn together. So that's part of this. So this is really live learning. Yeah, exactly. We want it to be very raw and, you know, show people how you don't need to be an expert to figure this stuff out. So there you go. That's kind of my testimony there. But yeah, okay, Joseph, what's the next step, you think?
One thing, and this is also one of those general heads up kind of things. When you have a preset selected and then you go into the custom settings like this,
Yeah.
it inherits from the preset. So see how opacity is set to 0?
Well, yeah, we don't want that. We want it to 1.
Exactly.
Because,
Exactly. So
yeah,
that's the thing.
okay.
It was set to some sort of fade, so the opacity change got
Okay, so this
inherited from
overrides that.
Yeah, exactly. We're basically completely deviating from the preset at this point. We're doing custom.
Yep.
As opposed to a preset, but yeah, it did inherit that opacity change.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
Now I think we should be good. Now we just need to test this on a long enough page.
Okay, so let's go back to our home page, and as I scroll down, so it kind of pops up. I see it. Is it weird that it's like a fixed nav right now?
I'm waiting for the video to catch up to see, to see what the result is.
Here, actually, I can just share my screen with you.
Oh, is it not a fixed nav? Sorry.
It is a fixed nav. You should be able to see it on. You should be able to see it on Slack now.
Yeah, it's doing
it. So as I scroll up, it pops back in. Yeah. I need to change the Z index for sure, but
yeah, Z index will probably help with the text overlapping it there.
Yeah, let me change that real quick, because that's driving me bonkers. Okay, so now here's another question.
There we go.
Yeah, so it springs right now, so there's a little like weird pop. So we'd probably adjust that so there's not that little weird pop as well. But before we go into finessing this, instead of scrolling, well, is there a way to have it pop up once we hit a certain point? Yeah, the scroll bar has to go, but as we like hit a certain point of the screen, then we have it activate.
What we're doing here, triggering on scroll.
Yeah,
we're currently triggering on the action of scrolling at all. But if we instead trigger on when a section comes into view,
I see.
Then we can create a section of the page, and then we can point that to the section of the page. So section in view would be.
So technically, I'd have to actually say what section though. And
yeah, you'd have to create a section, and sometimes, you know, you say, you know, in your mind, like, I want this to appear from this point A to this point B, but I don't really have a section on the page that corresponds with this point A to this point B.
Yeah.
So you might have to create like a whole new frame. Like you might have to wrap things in a frame just for the purpose of pulling this off.
Someone's saying that's when you use scroll transform.
Well, scroll transform would still make things happen gradually. So we would still want the nav bar to pop in instantly when we reach a certain point, and then we would want it to pop out when we go outside of that range. A scroll transform would have the nav bar creep in. Basically, it would transform it as we scroll through that section.
I see.
So that wouldn't be what we want for that.
The one hang up I'm thinking about now, if we were to go on scroll section, and we're doing this at the layout template level, the layout template is going to be for the global website, right? Like it's a global element. So that section isn't going to be present on every page.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm wondering if would we just have to name a section the same thing on every page?
You know, this might actually be a limitation that we're running into of layout templates, because
could we try it? We could try it.
Well, with most properties that we need to surface on a page on the page level, we would have to create a variable, but we can't create a variable within that transform or within that animation.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we create a scroll section on each page and if it would react to the same one if it's named the same. Or am I delusional?
Well, I think once you're in the template, the scope of sections that will appear there are only the sections that are.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That are like
so what you would have to
time.
create a variable.
Yeah, because you'd have to sort of bubble that up.
Yep,
so
I see
that
it.
It can be accessed at the page level.
Yep, Framer University. Thank you, Nandy. You can make a variable for the scroll section as we're figuring it out. Yep. Okay, so that's what you have to do.
There we go. Yeah. So we didn't have any ability to create variables until you added that scroll section, and now we do.
Okay. Cool. I see. All right. Interesting. Okay. So you can do that. It just depends on what your use case is. So, and then if you go in here, we have that scroll section variable, and now we can actually pick it. So you would just pick it per page, wherever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then now,
right, yeah, because like you said, that section may or may not even be present on the other pages.
Yeah. So I see it pops in. So I might have messed that up when I redid it, because I didn't change the custom, like change it back to what we had set for custom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just as easy to accomplish the opposite.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm getting it. Yeah. So this is what's cool is like what I love about Framer is like you can show someone how to do something once and then they're like, oh, okay, got it now. Where we define the scroll section. Yeah, exactly. You make a variable. And then where you would define that section would be in your actual page, whatever section you choose within your layers panel. Down in the bottom right hand corner of your properties panel, there is a scroll section. If you click on that, you can actually name it right there. So that would name the section. So if I named this gallery, now you notice over on my left hand side there's a little hashtag icon that's showing that that's where we have that scroll section set. And then now that we've set that variable, when I look at my template, my layout template, I can go here to change my scroll section to the one that I created. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm hoping these lives can be, you know, something that is all of us learning together. Because there's so much, and like Framer continues to enhance this product and continues to bring out new features So sometimes it takes a lot of trial and error to figure stuff out. And there's going to be, like, for instance, what Benno brought up, which is something that I've never tried to do in Framer. So it's like, how would I know how to do that if I've never really tried it? So luckily, Joseph has tried it before, and I was able to call in a lifeline. So now, how would we... Nandy from Framer University is the man when it comes to these types of interactions. His channel has a ton of killer tutorials. Yes, if you guys haven't checked out Framer University, please go check out Framer University and Nandy over at Framer University, because he's definitely a Framer expert for sure. That's pretty much the effect I wanted. My scenario would be floating navbar, where it probably makes more sense, but yeah, I got the idea. Okay, perfect. What about if we wanted to take this to the next level? I mean, we only have a couple more minutes here, but do you think we could quickly create that mouse interaction? Is that possible, to have it where the mouse goes to the top of the screen and pops that down? Or is that something that's going to be a little bit more complicated?
A little bit, and I feel like this is one of those things where there are probably a few different approaches
Yeah.
to how to do it. I like that someone earlier mentioned using variants to pull that off. I don't know if they were referring to using scroll variants for the scroll effect that we pulled off a little differently.
Or was it like a hover interaction? No.
Yeah, I mean, using a hover interaction, you can transform something on hover.
Right.
But we actually, if I remember correctly, we don't get an offset property for that. I think that's on my my long list of feature requests.
It looks like we do.
For
hover?
Is that for hover?
Yeah.
For hover, we do get offset. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those we don't. Offset's like mysteriously missing, and I'm like, oh, why don't we get offset for that? But the problem with this is, if we want it to appear on hover, we need the touch target to exist.
I see.
In the position that we're hovering over,
which is why.
Yeah. So I think if we made the nav bar like double the height and just had a bunch of blank space under it, or if we wrapped it in a frame and had that frame be 128 pixels tall, instead of 64,
I see.
Then at least we'd have that blank area that we could hover over.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, and then you can have the nav bar if you want it to be not visible until it becomes visible.
So we would have
set the top position to -64. Yeah, perfect. Yep. And then now we still theoretically have that touch target to hover.
So we'd create that hover effect now, and then we would do.
And then that Y offset could pull it down.
Yeah, so we'd go like 60 down or 64 down. Let's make that. There we go. Okay, so it'd be like that, and then that.
Try that out. Preview that.
Ah. Hey, we did it.
Easy peasy.
So, to do both, though, you're saying you might need 2 navs?
Yeah, I'm not sure about doing both.
Either way, both of these are really interesting and quick solutions that you guys can try and mess with. But yeah,
in my mind,
interfere with content below the nav bar, wouldn't it? I mean, depending on,
if there's interactive content below the nav bar.
If there's interactive content right below it, yes. But I think when someone is going up to the nav bar, they're going to that nav bar, right? Once they leave, it would disappear, so then it wouldn't. But if you have it hugging that nav bar, maybe.
Yeah, it is a valid point that now there is a 128 pixel window of like interactions being blocked by the nav.
Yeah.
If you wanted that to be only 64, like it would be if we didn't do the invisible hit area thing, We could have accomplished this by creating 2 variants of the nav bar and having one variant where, you know, all the contents are slid up and another variant where they're slid down into place.
Could we do this with a
Um,
component?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2 variants of a component.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So yeah, it would be within the component.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it would be within the
Probably would have
component, and
taken a
then
little longer, a few extra minutes, but
yeah. This is the quick and dirty way to do it because
yeah.
we only have a few minutes left on the live. But yes, I would say like your best bet if you want to do that would be like do it in a component and then have it offset within the component itself, and then it drops down, and that way you're not going to have that 128 pixels of nothing that's blocking content. But this definitely achieves it depending on what your content is, if you need something really quick. But awesome, very cool. All right, you guys. Whoops, wrong one. Joseph, thank you so much for joining me for the last bit. That was super helpful.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much.
Super fun.
And you guys, please go check out Framer Academy if you haven't. Thank you guys for joining us today for the live. We're hoping to do more of these. There was, you know, about 60 people in here the entire time, so I really appreciate you guys popping in. And I really appreciate you guys like pushing and asking the questions. You still would have a bit of blocking on top for a hover target. Yeah, true. Very true. But it wouldn't be 128 pixels. Go to live. I appreciate that, Chris. Benno, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for hanging out. And I hope to see you guys next time. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can stay up to date with all of the new videos that we come out with. We try to come out with new videos all the time. There's a lot of new Framer Academy videos coming out, new courses that we're working on behind the scenes as well. And I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Thank you.
Nice, dude.